Witch Project. There's been some strange sightings.
The search of the 3 missing Montgomery College students continues in Frederick County tonight.
10 days and thousands of man-hours have been unable to produce any clues.
We have a few leads, a few other options we want to take advantage of, and just try to put together some pieces to this puzzle.
Do you believe the occult may be involved in the disappearance of your son?
I think I found what they were looking for. I think it's following us. You gotta send help.
Darkness is your ally. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blind.
Woo! Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, the talking dual tube NVG device, and today we are going over something I'm passionate about but suck at. Night vision operations. Not operations. Mainly LARPing in your mom's basement. And kind of going to go over my setup, my background. I'm no high-speed guy. I was never a door kicker in like some Abu Dhabi city. I'm just some dude who enjoys firearms, right? And I recognize that night vision, good capable night vision, is going to be leagues and bounds ahead of people that don't have night vision. Guys will be like, hey, all I need is a white light to counteract that night vision device. Hey, it's pitch black out here, and if I step away from the light, you can't see me, but I can see everything that you guys would be doing if you were around the truck working around white light. If you're trying to hunt for me and I have night vision, you're not gonna find me. And you just have white light. It's not how this works. So let's debunk that myth first and foremost. That's not how any of this works, okay? So when it's pitch black and you can't see anything, you're not going to find somebody with white light. And if you do try to search for somebody with white light, you're just showing where you are. And it just beacons you when you're being observed under nods. So it's like, hey, thanks for lighting yourself up, being an easier target. Now, caveats to this, all right? So not a high-speed guy, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. If you're here at this channel, chances are you're here because you want to be entertained with a dash of gun content. We can do that for you. Things to consider if you're going to get into night vision. It is a steep price to get into. I do see tons of guys who have multiple firearms, right? 10 plus guns, and they're all kind of like whatever guns. I don't know. If this is your prerogative, you don't give a shit about night vision, that's fine. But if you're like, man, I always want to get into night vision, but it's too expensive, and you have like 10 plus guns, well, therein lies the problem. Like, you might want to downsize your collection and maybe focus on a good fighting carbine. If you want to work at night, if you want to, I'm going to say this, operate at night, right? I say that because I'm not an operator. If you want to work in the dark, essentially, everything gets harder when you can't see and you're trying not to die. You need to have your kit dialed in. It's a good reminder, this outing. You won't see it on camera, but it's a good reminder, because I'm going to edit a lot of this to make it look really cool, like I know what I'm doing. But if you don't do a lot of work at night, you don't have like with the fine-tuned things of your kit, batteries, like we've had, this is like one of those issues where Murphy's Law has kicked me in the nuts on this trip, because like for a headlamp, I gotta check my headlamp, batteries are out. I'm checking my my optic, zero's off. Shit like that. You want to stay on top of your shit, especially if you plan on doing anything at night, because it just amplifies that difficulty factor much harder. Working your gear and being in your kit in the dark when you can't see and you're trying to work through tubes, right? Luckily, I'm working through dual tubes right now, and that leads me into big shout out to Foster Huntington, who sent me these dual tubes and a good IR camera to film this with. Really nice of him. He's like, hey, do you want to check these out? And I was like, sure, let's do it. I have a 14 unit that I use, and it's a green tube. It does not compare. Dual tubes, in my opinion, you can start out with a single tube and still rock and roll, but dual tubes, in my opinion, are a lot more fun to run a gun with. You also send an IR camera device to help film in low light, some technical stuff. So give him a quick shout out because that is justly due, as well as Goon & Gear, who also, they do night vision stuff, sent me a maul to play with. Keep in mind, they're sending me these things. I'm just a big monkey, all right? I don't know why they're sending me this stuff, considering that it's like I worry that I'm gonna break this stuff. All right, so we're gonna dive into my AKM setup. If you've been here at the channel or you follow me on Instagram long enough that you know you've seen this plenty of time. We're gonna revisit this because I've had some things done to this gun. So we re-drilled out the real trunnion and added an RS Regulate mount for my EOTech. I got rid of the Strike Industries rail up here, and then I got rid of the pressure pad for the purse altogether, just because I figured we can delete another point of failure. That pressure pad hooked into the purse takes up space, adds weight, looks cool, but it's another point of failure. With the Surefire up here, it's an M300 and it's hooked up to a pressure pad as well. Right, you can probably see that going. I've had failure points with this where it starts to come loose, and then when I want white light, it's not activating. So pressure pads are, I've had more negative experiences with pressure pads than positive. Mainly the newer pressure pads. The older Surefire, like the 660s on my Blood Diamond and Black Hawk Down clone, usually do me a lot better. The thought process of why I'm running an AK with an IR setup, of course, is due to the ammo crisis spawned in 2020, and now we're in 2021, where 5.56 is just so pricey, and I just want to hold on to it because I'm an AR guy first before an AK guy. Sorry, I know you might get a little butthurt, but nonetheless, I still wanted to have something to go out and shoot and train with that was still a fighting carbine, right? So that led and spawned into me setting up my AK to be a nighttime weapon, right? I mean, technically any weapon's a nighttime weapon, it's just how well it can see in the dark. So far, running it and gunning it, the only thing I, of course, would want to add to this, that being an AK, is running that can with some subsonic AKM rounds, or 7.62x39 rounds to be technical. That would be a ton of fun. Next up on our wheelhouse of weaponry, this is the cameraman's Gucci LMT setup. So we had to, for this, we're running the maul on here. Beep, beep. I'm sure you can see that. I'm not sure if you can, yeah, you can totally see that, huh? Can you see the IR coming off?
Wrong camera, buddy.
Well, I literally only ran 20 rounds of 5.56 for this, just due to how I'm balling on a budget with ammo. So removed his Surefire white light from his LMT to fit the maul. So this was hastily set up and zeroed. We did a rough zero on it, zeroing the IR laser with the tip of the iron sight up here. So you throw that up and then you line up with the visible laser just real quick, or with your NOS, just pointing of impact with the iron sight up here. Rudimentary zero, just real quick, is for YouTube. Don't look too deep into it. The maul was sent by Goon & Gear, so thank you, sir, for sending that maul. I don't get to keep it. I'm gonna send it back unless he's like feeling really nice, but we won't ask him too many questions. His LMT is pretty slick. He's got an Aimpoint H2 setup, something on stock, stuff like that. LMTs are, of course, very Gucci. It's like the NATO death squad. If they ever send an LMT after you, then I'd be a little bit worried. What is this, your Gemtech can?
Oh yeah, old Gemtech G5.
Yeah, this thing's pretty slick, man. By now you figured out this is probably the worst, maybe second worst. No, it's definitely the worst night vision video that you've watched. Helmet that I'm running, if you're wondering, how did he mount, what chassis did he use to mount it to his dome? Helmet's gonna be a Team Wendy bump helmet with that crank system in the back. Of the helmets that I've ran, if it doesn't have a crank and you want to run nods, then you're gonna have a rough time. It's doable, of course, it's just gonna suck. Even though I'm not certified to talk about this, philosophy. My philosophy on night vision. I think night vision, I mean, you gotta realize how much of the 24-hour span of a day is dark. A good chunk of it, right? So being able to fight in the dark, move in the dark, get things done in the dark. I mean, night vision just doesn't have one like fighting setting, right? I mean, you could have climate emergencies, power outages, you need to drive at night.
Make love with your wife.
Make love to your wife or partner.
Sushi.
Sushi. It's 2021. Lots of applications for night vision, flying, stuff like that. So you don't just need it to fighting. I mean, it helps you see in the dark, right? It's a tool that helps you see in the dark. Go figure, right? Night vision. All right, we're closing out the video. This is a quick, fun video about night vision, doing a little low light stuff, showing how bad I am under nods and when it gets dark. If If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. If you got this far, feel free to be a Patreon member of the channel. Merchandise, I sell merchandise on my website. It really helps the channel keep it as ad-free as possible. The support goes a long way is what I'm trying to say. War Bonds, as always, thanks to my cameraman, Mr. RBMT Media. Go check out his website. I link his stuff down below as well. I am nothing without my good cameraman. So I'll kiss him for you off camera. I'll catch you guys on the flip. There we go.
I'm harder. I don't know if that's gonna look good though. Like changing the lighting.
Kill the light real quick.
Kill it?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second.
Might just be looking for brass. Yeah, I'm looking for brass, dude. Jeez. They never stop out here, man.
Yeah.
Brass monkey.
I don't want to change the lighting because I feel like that'll look bad halfway through the video. But yeah, holding up the, geez, another one. Holding up the gun, it's just completely blocking out your face. I guess we could just try to do that. Look at that.